Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Tana, and today we're doing another video for the Not2Shabby shop. So today I'm working with Papery Inks, my Pawliday stamp set. I thought this thing was adorable, and I'm not a dog person, but they were just too cute for me not to want to play with. So I'm going to do a lot of stamping first, not all of it on screen. I did stamp out 3 of the Christmas trees. We're only going to use 1 today, but we will use the other 2 in my next video. And I did all of my coloring off screen as well. So here I'm just doing a little simple masking. I wanted this tree that I'm using to have a tree trunk. So I just cut a little rectangle of Post-it, full stick Post-it. Stuck that on there, and now I'm just drawing in my lines and drawing the rug lines back in. And here I'm just giving you a quick glimpse of everything I colored, and now we're going to work on the background for our first card. So I'm going to ink blend the entire panel with Catherine Pooler's Catching Rays, and I believe this is a Bristol Smooth panel cut down to, it is Bristol Smooth, but I believe it was cut down to 4 by 5 1/4 or 4 3/8, not 3/8, like 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Those are my normal sizes for A2 card fronts or card panels, so that I can put a mat behind them most times. I did go around the outer edge with a darker color. I forgot what that color was, but I know I put it on the screen for you. And now we're going to use a stencil from my stash. It's a 3-layer stencil for bokeh lights or effects. Now the nice thing about this stencil is you can line it up and use it the way they planned it out, or you can use it on your own, you know, any way you like. If you don't want your spots as dark as mine, you can go lighter with the white pigment ink. Or you could do something like use a yellow that it's very faint, will show up very faint on your yellow background or whatever color your background is. Use that color for a very faint effect. So my pigment ink, because I used so much, did take a while to dry. The first layer I let dry overnight, and the second layer I hit with my heat tool and waited an hour. So I am adhering that it is actually cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because I don't have a mat behind it, and it's on a dark green card base. So I planned it all out, put the tree on with enough room for the star at the top, and cut out Happy Holidays from my stash because this has a couple of woof sentiments but no other sentiments in this set. So I stamped out cut out Happy Holidays there. And I also cut out every puppy image from the tree, stamped them out, colored them, and popped them up on foam tape so it would look like they're actually hanging out of the tree when you're looking at the card. And I thought that turned out cute. And that little guy on the bottom, I did not put any foam tape down by the ornament he's hanging so he could hang right over the H in Happy. I also used some glazed Jelly Roll pens for the star. I have a colored star on my tree, so that's how I colored this star. And if you watch this carefully, I slowed it down a bit. My tittle went flying when I grabbed it with the craft tweezers. It was actually quite funny. I didn't think I'd be able to find it. And that's it for the first video, guys. Or first card. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about today. On to the second card. Second and third. These will both be made side to side here. So I have 2 sets of ink out. I opted not to use the skylight that you saw on the screen, but I did not put it up on the description. And we're going to use this background stamp from Hero Arts. I bought it at Joann Fabrics. I don't know if it's carried on the Hero Arts website. And I'm just going to spread out with a small ink dauber my colors, my small sponge dauber, I'm sorry. Just enough, and don't worry about your ink drying. We're going to squirt it with 2 sprays of water, 2 light sprays. Then I'm going to make sure that my panel is very well inked. And then I'm going to hit the heat tool to it, take the heat tool to it before I take it out of the MISTI, and set it aside for the next one. And now with the second set, I'm using Aquatini, Daydream, and Uptown. Same deal. I wasn't sure. At first I was only going to make one card, but I liked both backgrounds so much because I couldn't decide what colors to use. I decided to make both. So this one, I still don't know which one is my favorite. Let me know in the comments below which ones of the second and third cards you guys like more. Hit that with the spray bottle as well. And make sure that it is the panel is very well inked. And this is also on Bristol Smooth. Hit that with the heat tool. And then I trim those panels down to 1/8 shorter than 4 inches, and then the same amount off the other side. I'm really bad when it comes to remembering the sizes of my card fronts. And then I use gold and silver glittered paper to put a matte frame around the back of the panels, and then also to cut out Happy Holidays with a die from my stash. I did give that Happy Holidays a little bit of dimension with just one piece of cardstock behind it. And now I will glue both of those to card panels. I believe I used one black and one white card panel. Now I'm going to center these on their corresponding card fronts. And I have some pre-colored puppies here. Now I took that little bead stamp that comes in the set, and I stamped out a set of beads all the way across one piece, and then draped down in a kind of like a sideways V to go across my Happy Holidays for the blue card, and just glued it in certain spots. And it's small enough when I fussy cut it to be able to wind it back and forth and around and through the letters of the sentiment. So that's what you see me doing here. And I use that cutout as I was stamping out the beads to make sure that there was enough to go where I wanted it to on the die cut word. It was a little bit of a pain in the butt, the fussy cut, but it was worth it, I think. Now I'm just going to use some of the presents I cut out to add to the scene on the aqua colored card, aqua and gold. So there's some put up in the word Happy Holidays. There's a sleeping puppy up on top of the peas. And then that little guy who's looking up at the presents, sitting on a pile of presents. And then for this one, we'll have another sleeping puppy, but he's on the H. I'm going to use a clear Jelly Roll glaze pen to go over all those beads so they look like, you know, the metallic beads that you put on a tree. I colored and cut one of those stools out that came in the stamp set for this little puppy to sit on, and he is the one decorating Happy Holidays with the beads, so he's got a set in his mouth. And that's it for this video, guys. Make sure to visit Jamie's site and use a coupon code down below. Some restrictions apply, and don't forget to see what the team's doing over on Instagram. Lots of inspiration for the box of the month and the stamp set and die of the month. Lots to see over at Jamie's shop, and we will see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.